August is quickly approaching, which means new Nintendo Switch games are coming out. And honestly, there's an interesting mix of stuff here. Games I'd heard about, games I didn't know about, and big AAA releases. So what games are coming out in the month of August for the Nintendo Switch that should be on your radar? That's what we're going to talk about in this video. So sit back, relax, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and let's talk about the best upcoming Switch games for the month of August 2019.
Hey, RGT85. Hey, Sean.
Oh my god, it's Stevie Richards! You ever wanted to direct your own Power Rangers-like TV show? Well, Chroma Squad is coming out on August 1st, and it pretty much lets you do that. Chroma Squad released on other platforms and became somewhat of a cult hit and is now coming to the Nintendo Switch. You basically create your own Power Rangers-like TV show in which you hire people, do marketing for your show, and try to get the highest ratings possible. The higher your ratings are, the more stuff you get that you can make for your show. The way the combat plays out actually impacts the ratings as well, and you have to meet certain goals set by TV sponsors during each season, and if you don't, well, that's game over. There's tons of customization in the game, from the character suits to the weapons, and there's even large mecha combat in the game as well, kinda like Zords. The gameplay is a tactical RPG in which you battle, and there's all sorts of different attacks and team attacks you can perform in the game as well. The game was pretty well received on other platforms, and with a ton of customization at your fingertips, should make for an interesting addition to the Nintendo Switch when it drops on August 1st. We might have just had Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 on the Nintendo Switch, but the superheroes keep coming with DC Universe Online on August 6th. I remember playing DC Universe Online when I first got my PS3 after beating Metal Gear Solid 4 back in the day, and it always had an interesting concept to me. MMOs usually aren't my cup of tea, but I'll be checking out DC Universe Online on August 6th because, well, I mean, it's free. DC Universe basically puts you in the role of a superhero that you customize to your liking, from everything pretty much imaginable. You can choose whether or not to be a good guy or a villain, so having multiple characters is a good idea. Since the game takes place in the DC Universe, you are constantly visiting iconic areas from the source material, along with running into lots of DC-related characters in the game's main story. There's tons of missions to do, and the game is ever evolving as it is an MMO. The gameplay is pretty solid as well, as it's an action game through and through, and since you level up your character to your liking, you can get some really cool superpowers to use in the game as well. There honestly are a few questions about the game that remain, such as the graphical performance, the stability of the online gameplay, and how easy it will be to play with your friends online. And of course the ever-looming DLC paywalls that you might end up hitting if you don't like doing missions to grind your character. But since the game is free, it's going to be worth checking out regardless. We're actually planning a Spawncast related team as well, so that we will be out there cleaning up the streets of the DC Universe on August 6th. Or maybe taking it over. Next up is a game that I wasn't familiar with until searching this list, and it's called The Forbidden Arts, and it's coming on August 7th. Like I said, this honestly wasn't a game I'd ever heard of until researching games for the list, but The Forbidden Arts actually looks like a pretty solid game. An action platformer game, The Forbidden Arts is pretty unique in that it blends 2D and 3D gameplay into one. You explore worlds in a 3D mode, while the combat portion of the game takes place in a 2D mode. You play as a character named Phoenix, who embarks on a quest to embrace the pyromancer in himself, and it takes him across many magical worlds and levels. The graphical style of the game actually looks pretty good, with interesting monsters, lots of detailed backgrounds, and fluid animation. The combat appears to be pretty solid as well, featuring hack and slash elements along with fire magic. It might not reinvent the genre or anything, but The Forbidden Arts looks like a solid action platformer that might end up being worth the $15 asking price point when it launches on August 7th. On August 13th, we have a bit of a controversial game coming to the Nintendo Switch, but it's one that I'm definitely looking forward to, and that is Friday the 13th, the game. Friday the 13th, the game is probably my biggest guilty pleasure in gaming. I'm a huge fan of the source material, and honestly, this is one of my most played online PS4 games just because of how much fun it is when everything goes right, or wrong in some cases. Friday the 13th, the game is a game in which one player controls the infamous Jason Voorhees, and the other players are teenage camp counselors. The goal of the game, if you are Jason, is to kill everyone, and the goal as a camp counselor is to escape by any means necessary. In order to escape, counselors have to team together and do various tasks, such as restoring the phone to call the police, or finding car parts to get a vehicle running and get the hell out of there. Jason, of course, doesn't want this to happen, and uses his mystical powers to locate and eliminate the counselors. The game is extremely fun, with different camp counselors to choose from, all with their own strengths and weaknesses. Some can stun Jason quicker, some can run away faster, and some can fix things quicker to escape. The fear and tension of Jason appearing at any moment really makes the game very unique, and playing online with friends is an absolute blast. Like the DC Universe game, I do have some questions about the port of this game, as the PS4 version wasn't exactly the most stable online experience, and some Nintendo Switch games do suffer because of that, plus the fact that the Switch version of the game does not have cross-platform play. But thankfully, the game does include all of the single-player and character DLC from the other versions. As long as the online is good, I'm probably going to become addicted to this game, and you know what? I can't wait. Now before we get into the next game on this list, I want to give a big thank you to the sponsor for this video, ExpressVPN, because let's be honest folks, the internet has pretty much turned into the wild wild west nowadays. You remember that old Chappelle Show skit about the internet? That's pretty much what the internet has become. So how do you protect yourself on the internet? Well, ExpressVPN has the answer. ExpressVPN is the #1 tool for protecting yourself online. It's super simple to use as well. You literally click a button and bam, your internet IP, data, and location are now encrypted. Considering the rise of cybercrimes, having a VPN in 2019 is key, and the ease of use with ExpressVPN is great. Besides protecting yourself online, ExpressVPN allows you to access things like country-restricted YouTube videos as well. I'm not a big tech guy, so I absolutely love how easy it is to use ExpressVPN and all the features that it has. It costs less than $7 a month, and they have a 30-day money-back guarantee as well. So take back your internet privacy today and sign up using the link in the description box down below to get a free 3-month run with ExpressVPN. Better safe than sorry, right? YuGiOh Legacy of the Duelist Link Edition comes out on August 20th. Yep. Honestly, I don't know a thing about Yu-Gi-Oh, as the heyday of it was popular during my early teenage years, but I do know one thing. There's a bunch of people that still love and play it. Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist Link Evolution is a card game in which you pick from over 9,000 cards, yes 9,000, and challenge other duelists in the game trying to beat their deck. The game also features online dueling as well, so you can battle others and see if you are the Yu-Gi-Oh! Champion of the world or something like that. Interestingly enough, the physical edition of this game actually includes 3 cards exclusive to it, so if you're serious about your Yu-Gi-Oh! Battling, you might want to snag that version. I won't be playing this game when it comes out on August 20th, but you might be, so that's why I included it. Just for you. Looking to scratch your RPG itch? Well, Annunaki comes out on August 21st, and we'll probably do that. Annunaki is a new RPG from the people who brought us I Am Setsuna and Lost Sphear from Square Enix, and was a game that I actually got more interested in after Square's E3 presentation. Annunaki has you playing as a character known as a Watcher, who is basically tasked with defeating monsters and freeing the lost souls within them, basically letting the deceased spirits rest in a reincarnation-like setting. Because of this, you transfer between 2 different worlds, the living world and the beyond. I'm sure the story will be pretty dark considering the subject matter, but I think that might actually help this game stand out in the long run. The combat is very action-orientated as well instead of turn-based, with a variety of weapons and special attacks, and looks to be pretty flashy in terms of what you can do. One thing I really like about this game is the visual style though. Lost Sphear and I Am Setsuna weren't bad looking games, but I did think they both looked a little bit bland, whereas Annunaki has a high quality and distinct art style to it. Annunaki drops on the Nintendo Switch on August 21st, and I honestly think this could end up being the sleeper hit of the month for the Switch. Do you like bad mascots? Well, Bugsy, Paws on Fire comes to the Nintendo Switch on August 29th. We're talking about Bugsy. We originally talked about Bugsy Paws of Fury before it was delayed, and I said we were not going to talk about it because, well, it's freaking Bugsy. However, I did not know that Choice Provisions, the team behind the BitRunner games, actually made Bugsy Paws of Fire, so I guess I can give it a little bit of shine. Bugsy is back in an auto-runner adventure that has you going through over 100 levels trying to make it to the end of the level. The graphics actually look pretty decent along with the animation, and it seems like there's good variety in the gameplay types within the levels, such as side-scrolling shoot-'em-up segments. You can unlock a bunch of different cosmetics in the game as well. This is honestly the longest I've ever talked about Bugsy on the channel in a somewhat positive manner, but who knows, maybe I'll end up reviewing the game and liking it. It got decent reviews on other platforms, so if you want to experience one of the worst mascots of the 1990s again on your Nintendo Switch, August 29th is your chance. And the final game doesn't really need any sort of intro, Astral Chain, August 30th, holy crap. Arguably the biggest game of the month, Astral Chain is dropping on August 30th on the Nintendo Switch, and it looks like it's going to be an absolute banger. Platinum Games has really found its groove in the past decade or so with games like Bayonetta on Nintendo platforms, but Astral Chain really looks like an evolution for the company. You play as one of 2 twins in a rookie cop tandem for the Ark, and a special task force known as the Neuron, which is attempting to stop an alien invasion on the Ark. The game takes place in a cyberpunk futuristic world and looks absolutely crazy to explore. The gameplay is classic Platinum Games, but with a twist, as you control a chained living weapon known as a Legion that can help you in battle, assist you in puzzles, and more. There's a bunch of different Legions to explore as well in the game. The graphics in the game are absolutely stunning, with fast and flashy action, big boss battles, and very creative environments. Aside from the standard gameplay and story missions, there are a bunch of side missions and open world segments as well, along with you having to do actual police work such as questioning people and gathering clues. Astral Chain looks like a AAA game since the moment it debuted, and it could end up being one of the best Nintendo Switch exclusives of 2019, and it's coming on August 30th. Alright, so those are the games of August 2019 that you should definitely have on your radar. I think there's a good mix of stuff here, and games like Astral Chain are really going to propel this, and of course, Friday the 13th. I can't tell you how excited I am to start playing that game again. It's just so much fun, just so much fun. But let me know in the comments section down below what you think of the games coming out in the month of August. Are you planning on picking up any of these games? If not, why aren't you picking up Astral Chain, you strange person? And as always, thank you for checking out this video. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Check out other videos on the channel. Want to give a big thank you to ExpressVPN for sponsoring this video. Make sure you guys check out that link in the description box down below to get 3 free months of ExpressVPN. And as always, I will catch you guys on the next video. Later.